The Panama Papers is a leak, the largest leak in journalism history, of 11.5 million files received by Süddeutsche Zeitung, a newspaper in Germany, shared with the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, and then with more than 370 journalists around the world. The files are files from a Panamanian law firm, Mossack Fonseca, which is one of the leading law firms in creation of companies in offshore jurisdictions. They work in more than 20 jurisdictions around the globe, and there were connections with more than 200 countries in the world. Thanks to this leak, we've been able to go inside a secret world, the world of offshore. It's a parallel economy used by the powerful, people that are politicians, that are sports people, celebrities. The powerful using this parallel economy for different reasons, to evade taxes, to just basically have a parallel identity, but all have a direct impact in our economy and in the income inequality that all our societies suffer. Mossack Fonseca is one of the leading firms in the world that deal with the creation of offshore companies, and their clients were high-profile clients. We found more than 140 politicians. 12 of them were current or former world leaders, like the Prime Minister of Iceland, like the President of Argentina. These are people that are running countries right now that are using offshore companies. It is important to note that it is completely legal to have an offshore company. The problem is exactly that there is this parallel system that is completely legal, that in some cases it's used for illegal activities. Panama Papers is not just about Panama. It's about more than 20 jurisdictions in the world that help people incorporate companies, and after that you don't know anything about who's behind them. So Panama is just one of the 21 jurisdictions where Mossack Fonseca was operating. The Panamanian authorities, once we published in April 3rd the Panama Papers, started investigating Mossack Fonseca. They actually raided the offices of Mossack Fonseca and are currently investigating the law firm. But Mossack Fonseca is just one of the law firms that operate in Panama that do exactly this, create companies under secrecy. Panama is considered by many countries a tax haven. What does a tax haven entail? It basically is a place where you can hide who you are behind a company. If one registers or logs in the corporate registry of Panama, you can find the name of the company and the name of the directors. Many times those directors are straw men, are people that are nominees for sale. They're not the real owners of the companies. And that is basically what a tax haven is. That's why Panama is considered by many jurisdictions of many countries a tax haven. The Panama Papers helped us put the spotlight in a topic that has been ignored for years by politicians and their lack of political will to change the situation. And right now, politicians are looking at a world where some of us pay taxes and some other people don't, because there's a parallel economy used by the powerful. So right now, thanks to the Panama Papers, the conversation is back on the table, and we're having discussions at the international level on policy that needs to change, on whether corporate registry should be public, on whether beneficial owners should be recorded, on whether corporations should say what their subsidiaries do in places like Panama, but also the British Virgin Islands, in the United States. That is information we should know, and that is the conversation that is right now on the table. The results, we'll just have to see. Changing policy is a long process. The Panama Papers are not over. We may find more stories that we've missed. We may find stories of people that are not known yet, that are of a public interest, and then they appear in the Panama Papers. 11.5 million files are a trove of information that we will take years to exploit. I also think it's important to note that ICIJ published information online on offshoreleaks.icijj.org, the names of the corporations in these secret jurisdictions, in tax havens, and the names of the people behind it. That information that is not normally public. And now anyone can go into that website and find the truth about those companies. One of the biggest surprises of the Panama Papers and what we found in those documents from Mossack Fonseca was that politicians were using this parallel economy and this parallel system. And if politicians use the system and they're the ones that are meant to change the system, no wonder that the system doesn't change. It's been fascinating to work on this investigation that took us 1 year because we gathered more than 370 journalists from 100 media organizations from 80 countries working together using technology to actually work collaboratively, connect, search the documents, share findings, and I think that's the future of journalism.